I've been investing for nearly a decade and a half, and as an advisor, I managed over $140 million. But if I wiped the slate clean and started all over today, what would I do to build my wealth? What investments would I choose? Let's go ahead and break it down. Now, the way that I'm looking at this is it's me, right? I am in my mid 30s. I'm looking to build long-term wealth. What would I do to build that foundation, right? So I'm looking at things I can invest for a long term, things I don't need to come back and check every 10 minutes, and then something that I know or feel that I can trust, again, for the long term. So that is the perspective that I am looking at. You may want to make adjustments based on where you are. Okay, I'm also going to give you the percentages that I would invest in as well. So first, starting with the foundation, I would start with the iShares US Stock Market Index Fund. That stock symbol is ITOT. Look in your investing app or the stock app. If you have an iPhone, it's going to pull up. If you're looking for an investing app and need a place to start, you can look in the description below right now. One of my favorite investing apps is Public. They'll give you like $5 or $6 to start. Okay, so go ahead and click that link if you're looking for a new investing app. I've also done videos on how you can do this on Cash App as well, and there's several other apps that I've covered here on the channel. So the first one's ITOT. For me, okay, I want to emphasize it's me, right? Because I would be the one starting over in this case. I'll put 60% of my money there. So if I got $100, I'm putting 60. Got 1,000, 600. You guys can do the math there. And the reason is because that's going to invest in basically all the stocks in the US. If I am wrong about any of my stocks, I still have the entire stock market. I've got a backing, right? I can afford to be wrong in choosing a stock when I have the entire index fund behind me. Warren Buffett, the 5th richest person in the world, says that, hey, the majority of people should be investing in index funds, so we're going to put the majority of our money there. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is I'm also going to choose a bond index fund. The stock symbol that I would use is BND. Now, I've got stocks, right, and I've got bonds. In this case, I will put 20% of my money in this bond fund. The reason why I'm doing that is I want you to imagine a bike, right? I'm thinking of pedals and brakes. ITOT, the stock market index funds, the stocks as a whole, those push you forward. That makes you go fast, right? And it makes your portfolio soar over time. But you need something to slow you down in case you run into a speed bump. And should the market turn, like it did last year, and like it could at some point in the future, I want to make sure that my portfolio is balanced and has some cushion, some breaks. Now, again, I'm in my 30s. Okay, so 60% in this particular index fund and 20% in this index fund can be fine for me. So 60 in ITOT and 20 in BND works for me. If you are closer to retirement, then you may want to change those numbers. If you are someone younger, then you may want to change those numbers. Generally, again, thinking of a bike, the younger you are, the less brakes you need. You fine. You fall off your bike, you good. I'm here to tell you that the older you get, it's not so good no more. Okay, so you can understand that metaphor. The closer you get, the more you want to have in bonds to protect your portfolio just a bit more. Now, all of that leaves me with about 20%. Okay, so with this last 20%, what I would do is split these evenly and put 5% in each of these individual stocks. I will say this, okay, important note here. If you only did those 2 index funds, you would be fine. Okay, it is not the perfect portfolio in the world, but you'll be fine. You've got your stocks, you got your bonds, you are extremely diversified because you own all the bonds and all the stocks. You can totally be fine and stop there. However, I like to be a little bit extra, okay? Like my grades was good. I tried to get above a 4.0. That doesn't mean I actually got it, but I do try to do just a bit more. And what I like to do is add a few more stocks on top of the portfolio that we've already built. And what I'm trying to do is not just pick everything in tech. I don't want Apple, Amazon, Google, and all those things. Though those are good, right? I don't only want to invest in that area because if tech doesn't do well for any reason in the future, that's a good chunk of my portfolio, 20% of my portfolio in that one single area. Not the safest thing to do. And that would not have worked last year, though it would have worked this year in 2023. So the way I'm doing this is picking different areas. The first one is Eli Lilly. That stock symbol is LLY in the healthcare space because generally speaking, healthcare does well in all weather. And when I say all weather, I'm talking about the economy. Whether the economy is good or bad, people are still spending money on healthcare 9 times out of 10. Eli Lilly is up 32% in the last 6 months and up 60% in the last year. You can even go back over the last 5 years. Eli Lilly has done well. right? The next one is in the tech space, and this is one that you have likely heard of before. That's NVIDIA, NVDA. NVIDIA is up 191% in the last year, which is utterly ridiculous. Utterly, like, why? Okay, but I want it. I want more of it, to be specific, because I do own shares of NVIDIA now, which I've had for quite some time. Now, I would not expect, right, because if you're starting brand new, what I don't want you to do is get your expectations out of whack and think that in 2024 you're going to make another 191%. Now, I hope that for you. I hope that for me. I hope that for all of us, that it does this yet again, but it's unrealistic to expect that. I do expect NVIDIA to do well over time, though. That's a reasonable expectation, but I wouldn't put a number on it and say, hey, look, I need to make 200% in the next 365 days. Unrealistic. And if you asked me last year in 2022 if this were going to happen for NVIDIA, I would have said absolutely not, right? So again, invest for the long term. I'm not really looking to have a specific return by this point next year. But NVIDIA is something that I would put at least 5% or a maximum of 5% of my money into. Next one here is PGR, that the stock symbol is PGR, is Progressive Insurance. They're up 24% in the last 6 months and up 23% over the last year. I want something that's in the finance category. Insurance does count as finance. I want something that is stable. Insurance is required. You got to have car insurance. You got to have house insurance. You got to have that stuff, right? So I want something that's predictable in terms of they know what they're going to charge for insurance. You're always going to have a customer base. It's an easy, stable industry, and Progressive has shown that. Last year in 2022, Progressive did incredibly well, and it started to slow down in the early parts of 2023. We talked about this. We did an entire video about when I bought Progressive and when I sold Progressive. Y'all saw how much I made from Progressive. It looks like, okay, it looks like it's time to get right back into Progressive and ride that wave yet again. Okay, so Progressive, I'm telling you now. Okay, throwing it out there. All right, the last one here is PACCAR. PCAR is the stock symbol there. They are a manufacturing company. Think farm equipment, trucks, things of that nature. And they are up 28% in the last 6 months and up 39% over last year. How much do I believe in this company? I invested nearly $10,000 of my own money. I sold y'all the screenshots. I did an entire video on it a few months ago. You definitely want to go and check that one out. But obviously, I believe a lot in PACCAR and put my own money on the line. And in fact, I own everything here except for Progressive as of today. I don't think I own Eli Lilly as an individual stock. Obviously, I have index funds, so technically yes. But as individual stock, right now, Eli Lilly and Progressive are only two I do not currently hold. Why is that the case? Because I already own McKesson, which is a healthcare company, and I already picked up another insurance company. So I'm not trying to duplicate and have 2 or 3 of the exact same things. But that is how I would build my portfolio. ITOT for a stock market index fund, BND for a bond index fund, and then for individual stocks, I want Eli Lilly, I want NVIDIA, I want Progressive, and I want PACCAR. This is going to give me a good, solid mix. Anything that I'm missing is going to be inside of that index fund. However, if you want to learn more about PACCAR specifically or any other investing apps, so how you can get started, like you need help, like, hey, great, I know the stocks, great, I know the app, but like, how does this actually work? Then these are the videos that you want to watch next.